brokenness becomes 18 months of feeling dead inside. Imagine that for a moment. A year and a half where you're physically present but emotionally vacant, where you're going through the motions of life without actually living it. This was the reality for Edith Taves before she experienced what can only be described as a profound rebirth of purpose. I recently had the privilege of interviewing this remarkable woman whose journey from devastating loss to transformative purpose left me fundamentally changed. Edith isn't just a survivor. She's a revolutionary force showing us how our deepest wounds can become our most powerful gifts to humanity. Today, I want to share the wisdom she imparted, wisdom that I believe can revolutionize how we view our most painful experiences. And fair warning, this conversation might just disrupt everything you thought you knew about purpose and pain. What if I told you that your greatest wound could become your most powerful gift to the world? What if the very thing that broke you could become the foundation of your purpose? This isn't motivational fluff. This isn't Instagram wisdom that looks good on a sunset background. This is the lived reality of someone who walked through the valley of death and emerged not just surviving, but thriving with a mission that touches countless lives. For Edith, the journey began with that 18-month period of emotional deadness, a time when grief had hollowed her out, leaving nothing but an empty shell going through the motions of existence. Many of us have been there, perhaps not for 18 months, but we've tasted that peculiar emptiness where nothing seems to matter anymore. I was just floating, she told me, her voice carrying the memory of that time. Not really living, just existing. But what happened next is where her story becomes extraordinary. Instead of remaining in that state, Edith made a conscious decision that would alter the trajectory of her life. She decided to experiment, to try anything that might reignite the spark of passion within her. This experimentation led her to publish her book, My Loss, His Gain, become a dream builder coach, and eventually a life mastery consultant. But here's the profound insight she shared. Purpose isn't found in achievements alone. It's discovered in the continuous journey of becoming. The pivotal moment, she explained, wasn't when I accomplished something significant. It was when I realized that I wasn't chasing a destination, but embracing a process of growth. This distinction is crucial for anyone navigating the aftermath of loss. We often believe that if we just reach that next goal, that next milestone, we'll finally feel whole again. But Edith's experience teaches us something different. That wholeness comes from embracing the journey itself, not from arriving at some imagined finish line. Perhaps the most powerful aspect of Edith's transformation was her relationship with brokenness. Initially, she viewed her wounds as something shameful, something to hide. Many of us do the same, don't we? We conceal our scars, physical and emotional, afraid of being perceived as damaged or weak. But Edith discovered something revolutionary. She learned to carry her brokenness with so much love and passion. She began to see her fragments of yesterday, not as evidence of failure, but as sources of wisdom that enhanced her becoming. This perspective shift is nothing short of transformative. Imagine viewing your wounds not as defects, but as distinctive marks of your unique journey. Imagine carrying your brokenness, not with shame, but with dignity and even gratitude. As leaders, especially Black leaders navigating spaces where vulnerability isn't always welcomed or understood, this reframing offers a powerful alternative to the perfectionism many of us feel pressured to embody. What if, instead of exhausting ourselves maintaining flawless facades, we allowed our authentic experiences, including our wounds, to inform our leadership? The power of this approach lies in its authenticity. When we embrace our brokenness, we create space for genuine connection. We give others permission to be human too. And in a world starving for authentic leadership, this might be the most revolutionary act of all. Just yesterday on our podcast, we explored this theme of rewriting our stories at any age. The episode highlighted how our narratives shape our reality and how we can use language to transform our experiences of loss into catalysts for growth. One listener shared how changing the words she used to describe her divorce from failure to completion literally changed how she felt about herself and her future. This aligns beautifully with Edith's message about moving from deadness to purpose. The power of reframing our stories, much like she's done with her book, My Loss, His Gain, can literally change the trajectory of our lives. Writing my story, Edith shared, forced me to find meaning in what had happened. It compelled me to look beyond the pain to the purpose. This is available to all of us. We may not all write books, but we all have the power to rewrite the narratives we tell ourselves about our lives. We can choose to view our losses not as endings, but as transformative beginnings. Just 2 days ago, we discussed the frequency of manifestation and aligning energy for divine creation. This conversation explored how our energetic alignment impacts our ability to manifest our deepest desires and purpose. A successful entrepreneur shared how she had pursued multiple business ventures that made money but left her feeling empty until she found the one that aligned with her deepest values. And that's when both fulfillment and unprecedented success followed. Edith's journey reflects this principle perfectly. She didn't just pursue random goals after her period of deadness. She kept searching until she found what created meaning and resonance for her. When your heart, your purpose, and your actions align, Edith explained, you access a kind of energy that wasn't available before. Suddenly, what seemed impossible becomes inevitable. This alignment doesn't happen accidentally. It requires intentional reflection, experimentation, and courage. It demands that we listen to the quiet voice within that knows what brings us alive, even when that voice leads us in unexpected directions. I'm reminded of explorer Erling Kagge's profound experience of walking alone to the South Pole for 50 days in complete silence. During this journey, what began as a physical challenge became a profound inner journey of self-discovery. This mirrors Edith's 18-month period of feeling dead inside before her rebirth. Sometimes we must traverse difficult terrain, both externally and internally, to discover our true purpose. Looking back, Edith reflected, I can see that the silence was necessary. The emptiness created space for something new to emerge. This perspective offers hope to anyone currently traversing difficult terrain. The darkness you're experiencing may be the prelude to your greatest breakthrough. The silence may be preparing you for a message the world desperately needs to hear. As I listened to Edith share her journey, I was struck by a challenge that seemed to emerge naturally from her story. What if the very areas where you feel most broken or have experienced the greatest loss could become the foundation for your most meaningful contribution? This question isn't theoretical. It's being answered daily by people like Edith, who have transformed their wounds into wisdom, their pain into purpose. When I asked Edith what advice she would give to someone currently experiencing that sense of deadness or floating that characterized her 18-month period, her response was both simple and profound. Don't run from the emptiness, she said. Sit with it long enough to hear what it's trying to teach you. Then start experimenting, not with the goal of finding your forever purpose immediately, but with the intention of discovering what brings even a spark of life back to your soul. This approach, patient attention followed by courageous action, offers a roadmap for anyone navigating the aftermath of loss. Edith's message that all of us on the becoming have been touched with some kind of wound reminds us that our shared humanity lies not in our perfection, but in how we transform our wounds into wisdom. This is especially relevant for Black professionals navigating spaces where vulnerability isn't always welcomed or understood. So I stand before you today with a challenge, a disruption to the narrative that says your brokenness diminishes your value or limits your impact. I challenge you to consider that your greatest wound might be precisely what the world needs from you right now, What if the very thing that broke you open is meant to help others heal? What if your darkest night contains exactly the wisdom someone else needs to find their way through their own darkness? I challenge you to take one step today toward embracing your brokenness as a source of wisdom rather than shame. Write about it. Speak about it with someone you trust, or simply sit with it and ask what it might be trying to teach you. In the words of Ernest Hemingway, the world breaks everyone, and afterward, some are strong at the broken places. Through Edith's journey, we see this truth embodied. We witness how brokenness, when embraced with courage and transformed with purpose, becomes not a source of shame, but a wellspring of strength. You weren't chosen to lead despite your wounds. You were chosen because of them. The very experiences that have tested you most severely have also prepared you most thoroughly for the contribution only you can make. When we carry our brokenness with love instead of shame, when we view our fragments as sources of wisdom rather than evidence of failure, we don't just heal ourselves, we create the possibility of healing for others. And in a world as wounded as ours, what greater purpose could there be